Thank you again for attending today's membership luncheon for the Society for Benefit Cost Analysis. And it's my pleasure to welcome President Clark Nardielli.
Okay, welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. This is our membership meeting, which those of you who've been to many of these conventions, we typically held on Friday, but today we've moved up to Thursday. And so I will have a few announcements and then turn it over mostly to other members, other officers. So let's hope this works. Okay, so far so good. All right. Nope. There. Well, that quickly is the agenda. So we will be going through that. The fun part are the awards, but we're also going to hear all of the financial news and a few announcements about what is to be coming forward. Okay. I want to introduce the officers. That's me, Clark Nardielli. Craig Thornton is our Vice President and President-elect. Don Kenkel is our immediate past president. Kelly McGuire is our secretary. Kelly knows everything there is to know about the finance. Treasurer, I'm sorry. She knows everything about the finances. Jennifer Baxter is, I should have this thing in front of me. I have to turn around. Jennifer Baxter is the incoming, or assistant secretary is the actual, assistant treasurer. I'm going to get this right. Just bear with me. Assistant treasurer. She will become the treasurer next year. Jeff Lewis is our immediate past treasurer. And finally, Joe Devlin is our secretary. So all of you, could you just stand up for a second? Okay. So. And in addition, we have our board members, Dan Ackland, Henrik Anderson, Massimo Florio, Sandy Hoffman, Tom Knieser, Bent Christrom, David Long, and Fran Sussman. Could you all just quickly stand up? Okay, good. So these are the people who make the organization run. Okay. I won't make you all, maybe I will ask you to stand up. I won't read all your names, but you're enjoying, I hope, the program so far, and we have a lot more sessions. This is the program committee. They're also listed in the program. Could members of the program committee who are here please stand up? And yesterday, we held 5 workshops, well attended, and we hope to keep expanding the workshop program. This is the committee that put together the workshops, and I hope there are many of you who here today who attended the workshops yesterday. So will the workshop committee please stand up and take a bow? There they are. Okay, now I've got a few more thank yous. We'll start with our sponsors. ExxonMobil, the American Chemistry Council, the Regulatory Studies Center at George Washington University, and then I want to get this right, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Center for Health Decision Science at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, and the API, American Petroleum Institute. I want to thank our sponsors. In particular, ExxonMobil sponsored our opening reception last night. Our closing reception will be sponsored by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Center for Health Decision Analysis at T.C. Chan at Harvard. So thank you very much. And a special thank you once again this year to the Regulatory Studies Center at George Washington University, who are our de facto host here. on campus. This is, we really appreciate that. So these are our sponsors. Thank you. Okay. We have our organizational affiliates that we want to thank. These provide much needed and appreciated financial support and other support. These are the patrons. I won't read all the names because I have to twist around and you can see them. Okay. We have also our organizational affiliates, who are also very important supporters. And I hope that you can see the mixture of organizations among our supporters, wanting to emphasize as part of our theme, the breadth and width of benefit cost analysis and of the organizations and academic institutions and private sector entities that are supporters. Okay. And of course, tell you about individual memberships. I hope that most of you are members. I hope anybody here who's not a member becomes a member. We have our premium and basic, and of course the member benefits, subscription to the journal, opportunity to present research, access to the network of benefit cost analysis practitioners, conference discount. It's cheaper to come here if you're a member, and some exclusive membership-only benefits, including the journal, but there will be others as well that we're going to be talking about a little later today in the meeting. Monthly newsletter, and the opportunities to serve the field, which is important. And simply, members help sustain the society. We have a lot of important work to do and good work to do, and the society is a way of making it happen. So I urge everyone to become a member who is not a member, and if you are a member, please remember to renew. Okay? Okay. We want to thank officers and members of the board who stepped down this year. Lynn Caroli, who was the president 2 years ago, and last year was the immediate past president. Dan Hudson, who was our secretary, who stepped down. Emil Quinet, and Gary Van Landingham, who were both regular board members whose terms ended. So please thank them. And I know a couple of you are here, so please stand up also. And thank you for your efforts. Now I'm going to turn it over to our immediate past president, Dan Kinkel, who is going to do the awards.
Thank you, Clark. So Clark was mentioning earlier that not only does the immediate past president not have any of the logistical headaches, pleasures, but have the true pleasure of, I just get to do the fun stuff of giving out awards as a past president. So this is really great. So without further ado, the first award is the 2019 Outstanding Achievement Award, which the co-winners are Maureen Cropper and Michael Jones Lee. And maybe. Professor Jones Lee was not able to make it, but so Susan Chilton, one of his colleague at Nottingham, is accepting it. Newcastle, sorry. Let me say a little bit about our award winners before we hand it out.
We can step down again, okay, whatever, yes, okay.
So Maureen is the Distinguished University Professor and Department Chair at the Department of Economics at the University of Maryland. I'm happy to say she's a Cornell PhD, so there's a Cornell connection. She has made significant contributions to both the theory and the practice of benefit cost analysis. I think most of her major contributions have been to valuing environmental amenities, especially environmental health effects of mortality and morbidity. I'm very familiar with her work on health, investment in health, and occupational choice, published in the Journal of Political Economy. Measuring benefits for reduced morbidity was published in the American Economic Review, and she had a number of other papers on those subjects and others in the American Economic Review, Review of Economic Statistics, Journal of Environmental Economics and Management. Her more recent work has been on discount rates, especially intergenerational discount rates, and on the social cost of carbon, which brings me to some of her contributions to the practice of benefit cost analysis. She was the lead economist at the World Bank, worked to improve policy choices in a number of developing countries, including India, China, and Thailand. She's been on the U.S. EPA Science Advisory Board. She was co-chair of the National Research Council's Valuing Climate Damages, Updating Estimates of the Social Cost of Carbon. They presented some of that work at a meeting here last year or 2 years ago?
2 years
ago. And so, as I say, she has, well-deserved in both aspects of what the society hopes to do, and that is to improve both the theory and the practice of benefit cost analysis. Professor Michael Jones Lee is the professor emeritus at Newcastle University. He's also made significant contributions to both theory and practice. The nominator for him mentioned his two seminal books, again, books that I'm very familiar with, The Value of Life and Economic Analysis, published by the University of Chicago Press, and The Economics of Safety and Physical Risks, published by Oxford University Press. He's probably best known for those works and his work especially on the role of altruism in the value of a statistical life, which has been published in places like the Economic Journal, the Journal of Risk and Uncertainty, and other top journals. And again, he contributed to the practice of benefit cost analysis. He had substantial contracts with the UK Department for Transport, Railtrack, Health and Safety Executive in the Department of Health. Some of his contributions are in the Her Majesty's Treasury Green Book, which for those of you who know, that's the UK version of Circular A4, or Circular A4, the US version of Green Book. Depends on how you look at it, yes. He's been special advisor to the, I like this one too. I'm a bit of a Anglophile. He was a special advisor to the inquiry into the government policy on the management of risk from the House of Lords. So, and he also has worked with, for example, the European Commission on the economic evaluation of road safety and the World Health Organization on the health cost of air pollution. So again, both of these I'm very happy to offer to Michael Jones Lee, Susan Chilton on behalf of Jones Lee, and to Maureen Crawford.
Thank you very much.
And the second award we would give out is the Richard Zerby Award for Distinguished Service, and this award is being given out to Fran Sussman. This is for significant contributions to helping the society further our mission of advancing the field of benefit cost analysis. Fran has been a tremendous value to the society and fully deserves this award. It was very happy to be able to to be part of the awards committee that decided to make this award. Probably most notably, and most of you probably are aware, or at least aware of the product of all her hard work, is that she created and edited the Society's blog, On Balance. I was trying to remember, did you come up with a title for On Balance or not? We were pointing at other people. That's Lynn's title, but, okay, so Lynn Carroll came with the title, but Fran has published over 25 blog posts. She's closely involved with the editing, with the developing the topics. The blog posts have ranged from book reviews to discussions of current research to promoting things that are going on at this meetings or at the or in the journal. It's just been a tremendously successful endeavor that she launched and put her incredible hard work into. Steve Jones tells me that the blog is typically one of the most visible parts in terms of getting web hits and stuff like that. All the social media things counts. It shows that the blog is very successful. But that's not all she's done. She was a very active board member in general. She was been a very active participant at various conferences. And she organized a special issue of the Journal of Benefit Cost Analysis on climate assessment. And so again, very pleased to be able to give the Zerby Award to Fran. This is just an informational slide. We have a newer award that we've begun, the Outstanding Dissertation Award, and we certainly want you all to be thinking about your students and nominating your PhD students for this award, which again, that's the sort of the next generation of benefit cost analysts, both practice and theoreticians. Will be coming from our students, your students, and of course your colleague students, and so we would certainly welcome you. We mentioned that the range of topics are available. This will be we'll be sending out reminders to make this nominations later on, closer on, but I want you to start thinking about that. It comes with a $1,000 prize and recognition at this kind of an event. Finally, one more award. This was launched separately as part of a fundraising effort we've launched, last year I guess was the first one, and this is a continuing effort to both honor our colleagues by soliciting gifts that also help the society do all its types of business. So we have this Honor a Colleague Award. This was launched last year and met the goal, so we're very happy to announce it. And just sort of serendipitously, or maybe not, but nothing was rigged, but maybe it's not surprising that people wanted to honor a colleague who made such outstanding contributions. So the Honor a Colleague Award is also in honor of Maureen Cropper. I don't think I'm going to repeat everything that she did again. I could use this opportunity to sort of fill in the parts of her CV that I glossed over the last time, because it was, for both Professor Cropper and Professor Jones-Lee, you can't do justice to their accomplishments. But in any case, we are continuing to have additional Honor Colleague Awards, and there's one ongoing. There will be one ongoing, I believe, and we certainly welcome people to suggest, nominate people for this, and we're happy to work with you on that. I think. Now I hand it off.
Yeah, you're going to hear about a very, very important topic, of course, the state of the Journal of Benefit Cost Analysis. But before that, I want to just say a few words about the outgoing editors. A little over 5 years ago, this was the first issue of Volume 5 of the Journal of Benefit Cost Analysis. We had a new editorial team. Glenn Blomquist and William Hoyt were the two co-editors, with Mary Kokoski as the managing editor. The 16th, I counted by hand, the 16th and last issue, with them on the masthead as editors, will appear shortly, any day now, we're told. So it's time to say a little bit about all the things that have been accomplished by this editorial team, and to thank them, and to just give my personal thank you and the Society's thank you. Much has happened in the 5 years that they have been at the helm. Of course, they've continued the journal first launch, continued the mission of the journal as first. Our first editor is still happily here today, Scott Farrell, the founding editor, to advance the theory, methods, and applications of benefit cost analysis. This is still the only journal where a benefit cost analysis can be published. And so I particularly like the applications part. But they also move the journal forward in many ways. One big challenge that I think deserves at least some mention is The journal changed from being published by De Gruyter to being published by Cambridge University Press. Now that sounds like just an easy little transition. It was an extraordinarily challenging and difficult time, and the fact that you can look at the journal and not see a lot of blood on the pages tells you how well they handled that transition, and what an important part they both played in the transition, in making it happen. And again, those of us who cherish the journal are really happy with how it all turned out, and with how it has gone with under Cambridge University Press. Along the same line, they've also introduced some getting with the times innovations. We have and let me get everybody right here, with the support of Cambridge University Press and the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, they've worked to expand access to the articles in the journal. So there is free access to certain articles for limited time periods, and some open access. So we've moved out along that path as well. I could go on about a lot of their accomplishments. I particularly like some of the symposia that have appeared, with issues within issues, symposia within issues, and also the amount of work they've actually put in. The editors matter, and I know that a lot of things that you've seen in the journal you should have seen them before the editors had a go at them, and ideas that came into the journal that really Glenn and Bill got people to turn them into real papers. So this is, I think they've done a great job. All of us who've been using the journal and members of the society should really owe them a great deal of thanks. We're going to miss you. Could you please stand up at least and say hello? Okay. Well, as I said, I interrupted Glenn, so he was actually supposed to be up now. So, Glenn.
And Phil too. For sure. This has been a team effort. In January of 2014, Bill and I had the privilege of becoming editors of our society's Journal of Benefit Cost Analysis. And since that time, as Clark has said, we made a move to Cambridge University Press, and we have published a number of articles and issues in special issues and in symposia, in which we were attempting to push the benefit cost analysis into areas where perhaps it wasn't real common, wasn't popular. And we've had a lot of help along the way. In particular, we've had help from our members of the Board of Editors. They've been good in giving us advice. They've been great at helping us organize these symposia and special issues. And we wouldn't have been able to do these things without them. We've had good help from you all in sending us manuscripts and in refereeing manuscripts. And if you're trying to run a journal and you don't have good help from people, things grind to a halt pretty quickly. So we'd like to thank all of you. We certainly had a lot of help from Mary Kokowski, who was our problem solver when it came to managing Scholar One. We had good help from, I have to say, from the MacArthur Foundation and Valerie Chang in encouragement and in general financial support. It's helped us grow the Journal of Benefit Cost Analysis. And we are an international journal, and we're making specific efforts to make it even more international, as we are with the society. And so I want to say thank you in as many ways as I know how. And so I will say muchas gracias, merci beaucoup, grazie, vielen Danken, kiitos, paldies, tack så mycket. And to all of you here, thank you very much.
Well, let me just echo thanks to the to all of you. We really do rely on our members, and they've been great contributors. I think a lot of them have really, a lot of you have made special efforts to contribute in terms of refereeing, as well as your contributions in terms of article submissions. I know you've helped us out, and I think really consciously helped us out in that way. So it's much appreciated. We are. Well, we enjoyed our time. I think it's fair to say that we are looking forward to moving forward in the editorial team. So, Tom, I'm hoping you can come up here and join us. And Glenn and I are literalists, and so when we talk about passing the baton, we mean we're going to pass the baton. So, Tom Kniesner, come on up. So.
First, though. I thought they were going to say a line from Grateful Dead, that what a long, strange journey this has been. But
Crossed my mind.
thanks, guys. This has been wonderful having you. And they're still editors till April 1st. Remember that. Send them this stuff. Now, being half Italian, I guess I have ingrained in me the need to keep the trains running on time. That's what Elise Clark said. So I'll try to be cognizant of how fast we have to go to get everybody on the schedule we want. So let me be sure to recognize the wonderful people that are going to be helping me. By the way, my day job is I'm Chair of Economic Sciences at Claremont Graduate University in Los Angeles. And helping me is Lynn Carolee, Associate Editor, Henrik Anderson as Associate Editor, and Paul Peretz, who's the Managing Editor, who will be in charge of keeping the King's English in the right places and out at the right places. We are not using any extra O's and U's, despite his background despite being trained in the UK and New Zealand. And back at home in Claremont is the capable assistant to Paul, Chelsea Luchtenberg. So I hope we can do justice to you all in running the Journal of Benefit Cost Analysis, although I wouldn't stop at the International Journal. I would say we want to be intergalactic, if at all possible. At least, if we're going to have global public health next door to us in Claremont, we can have global as well as intergalactic benefit cost analysis. So, of course, we love the editorial board. You're great people. Hope you'll continue to help us a lot. And everyone here I know will want to read the issues of the Journal in 2019, which have lots of important articles in it, including the special issue that's paid for by the Gates Foundation. So check the website out. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I don't have a lot of time. And most consumers don't buy hybrids. And so let me just talk about our goals here. We do want to continue to be the premier place to publish benefit cost work. Our audience will continue to be scholars and teachers and practitioners of the field. And we want to support the movement toward evidence-based policy decisions, get the top articles that we can on these topics, and we'll work hard to make sure we get cited about it, okay, because that's very, very important. And of course, we'd like to do better over time and with respect to visibility and academic standing, and also run the journal well and also help financially maintain our sustainability and not get swallowed up by some other organization or publishing house. And so, of course, one of the issues in the future will be the free access issue. And so that's what we're working on, along with recognizing the top articles and promoting upcoming things. And so it's time to give out the best award, the award for the best articles of 2018. There was a committee that I was lucky to have Sandy Hoffman and Tim Bartik help with. Are you here at all? Sandy's right there, but Tim, nope. So I thank you for everything. And let me just give you what they and we wanted to say about the articles before we bring the people up here and give them their plaques, which are, of course, safe to take on the airplane on purpose. So one of the articles that won was by Scott Farrow and Adam Rose, Welfare Analysis, Bridging the Partial and General Equilibrium Divide for Policy Analysis. And what we thought with respect to that was that they were magnificent at providing a comprehensive literature-based comparison of the difference between or among partial equilibrium, linear input-output analysis, and nonlinear general equilibrium models that was accessible to readers. That was very important. Farrow and Rose also conclude that we should probably relax government rules against general equilibrium approaches to benefit-cost analyses while accompanying their recommendations with a fair-minded consideration of the arguments against their recommendations of increased use of general equilibrium implications for benefit-cost analysis. All right, so this is a wonderful kind of what to pay attention to when you do one of these articles. Then we also felt that Kip Viscusi's article, Best Estimates, Selection Bias in the Value of a Statistical Life, was one that was highly deserving this year. And so what Kip does is to provide an important new evidence on the value of a statistical life, which plays an important role in benefit-cost analyses of protection of life programs. Among others, he finds that although publication bias can be significant, the problem is most pervasive for meta-analyses that rely on what researchers select as the best estimates. If instead researchers use all estimates in their meta-analyses and properly control for sample characteristics, then the preferred estimates of VSL diverge little from the estimates currently in use by government agencies in program evaluation. Now, I know most of you subscribe to the medical journal Anesthesiology, just like I do, and one of my recent issues came, and there was an article about benefit cost. I can give you the reference, benefit cost analysis of what's on a crash cart for anesthesiologists, and it used one of Kip's articles on the value of statistical life to do the decision analysis of what should be on this crash cart for anesthesiologists in the operating room. So would the winners please come forward and collect their awards? Oh, and by the way, people that get an award are supposed to stay for pictures later, but not now. You're it, right? There's no Adam here, right? No Adam, okay. Well, so much for that. Here you go. Congratulations.
I'll be seeing Adam in about 2 weeks.
There you go. So, it's time for Joe Devlin.
Hi, everyone. I find myself in the position of being the new secretary for the Society of Benefit Cost Analysis. Full disclosure, I've never really paid attention to the secretary's report at previous meetings, so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be aspiring to, but hopefully I get through this without any egregious errors. I also hope that the printed slides I have are similar to what's up behind me. Joe Devlin. Okay, next slide. Good. At least we got the first one right. Is there another one? Or am I just going to wave my hand? I have the clicker. I have the clicker. There we go. So Sorry? Very sensitive thing. So there were two bylaw changes last year. One was that the individual membership year was changed from January 1st to December 31st to an anniversary date year, meaning the day you pay, you then are good for the next 12 months. And secondly, the fiscal year was changed from July 1st to June 30th year to January 1st to December 31st, so a calendar year. So I'll just pause there and say any questions or concerns about that? Okay, so far so good. Yes, I have the control. So elections were held in compliance with the SBCA bylaws. I'll just remind you there were many fine candidates on the ballot. Those that were elected: Dan Ackland, Jennifer Baxter, Joe Devlin, David Long, and Craig Thornton. I might just offer two little asterisks. First of all, I was not on the ballot as the secretary. This has just been a recent career change for me. And secondly, Craig Thornton, the VP, there is perhaps a little-known aspect of the bylaws that you, after you're on the board for 3 years, you take a year sabbatical before you're eligible again. So Craig had been on the board for 3 years and serving very ably, and it was felt that there was a need to have him continue on in the vice president role for another 3 years. So his name was on the ballot. You elected him. I just I felt responsible to clarify that little aspect of the bylaws. So again, I'll ask any questions or comments on that. Okay, I think it's my responsibility to ask for a show of hands to certify the election results. So all who are willing to certify, please raise your hand. Oh God, this is such a relief. I had this terrible thought last night that at this point someone was going to launch impeachment proceedings. So I'm just very, very, very grateful to get through this clean. Thank you so much.
In the short time I've been off the podium, I've had numerous people ask me for the name of the article in anesthesiology because they wanted to read it. So it's called Cost-Benefit Analysis of Maintaining a Fully Stacked Malignant Hypothermia Cart versus an Initial Dantrolene Treatment Dose for Maternity Units. And anesthesiology uses the value of statistical life as estimated by KIPS. So, and cost-benefit analysis.
Glad we clarified that. Hi, I'm Kelly McGuire. I am the current treasurer of the Society for Benefit Cost Analysis. I do want to recognize Jennifer Baxter, who will be the treasurer next year. She's the assistant treasurer, and Jeff Lewis, who is our past treasurer. So we serve on the finance committee. You've heard a little bit of sort of teasers about maintaining and growing the society and making sure that we're financially solvent. So I am here to give you the numbers as to why that might be the case. And I think what I'll do is I'll just sort of tell a little bit of the financial story, and then I'll kind of quickly go through the balance sheet and our budget for you. So the birth of the society came with a grant from the MacArthur Foundation that really helped to launch and grow the society for our initial years. And along the way, an additional grant from the MacArthur Foundation came to grow the journal. And so we've had their very generous, and we're grateful for their generous support over the years, but we've sort of reached like early adulthood. And now our parents are no longer paying our car insurance and our cell phone bill, and we're not able to be on their health insurance anymore. And so we have to sustain ourselves now. So both of those grants have ended, and I didn't really realize that when I put myself on the ballot to be the treasurer, that I would suddenly be now in charge of figuring out how we're going to make that happen. So you'll hear us repeat this message about why we want members and why we're launching some fundraising campaigns, because that's now, we're in a period of needing to grow the society in order to ensure that we're sustainable and that we have a good future to continue our work. So a little bit of the numbers to support the story that I just told. We get get most of our revenue through our memberships and conference participation. So here are the data just of what we've looked like over the years. We're sort of hovering around that 300-ish membership point, as well as conference participation. Our goal is to get to 350. I don't know if we necessarily hit it for this particular conference, but we really have worked hard with our management firm to get the word out and try to do that. And now that we've moved to this anniversary year membership model, we're hoping that we will continue to add and grow our membership throughout the year, because we would like to hit that 350 membership point. Just to give you a little bit of our balance sheet here, we actually are in a good position. So unlike most young adults, we actually did save our money when it was coming in. And so we do have a very hearty and healthy reserves, but we're constantly cognizant of not wanting to dip into that unnecessarily. So in terms of equity, the society has about $265,000, which is a very nice position to be in. Again, thanks to the support from the MacArthur Foundation over the years. And here's the news I don't necessarily like to deliver, but I think about on a weekly basis when I talk with the board members and our management company, is that we run a deficit. And we have run a deficit for a while, and we will continue to run a deficit. And the board has a is very committed to our strategic plan to try to reduce that deficit over the next 5 years. So we're projected to run about a $30,000 deficit this particular year, and we really need to grow our membership, grow our journal, grow our conference participation in order to reduce that. So that's why you're continuing to hear those messages. That's why you hear things about these different fundraising campaigns that we have, because we're very cognizant of this not being necessarily sustainable. So I think I just said all of that. You're going to hear momentarily from Craig Thornton, who will talk about some of our strategic initiatives that we have to try to grow the society. Here's just a few things that you can do. Please join. I'd encourage you to join as a premium member. It's not all that much more money, and you can do that. We also take your donations, either through our formal Honor a Colleague campaigns or other campaigns, or if you just feel like giving us money, we'll take it. And, bring a friend. Tell somebody to come with you. This is one of my favorite meetings of the year. I love the networking. I love the colleagues. I love seeing familiar faces and going to the sessions. Bring people along if you feel similarly. So I think that's it. If you have any questions or ideas or thoughts, please catch me in the hallway. I'm always open to hearing on ways that we can do better to keep the society alive. Thank you. So I'm going to turn it over to Craig.
Thanks, Kelly. So, a couple of housekeeping things before we get to the strategic initiatives. The first one is we've got this great set of officers and board members right now, but we need another set to start in January of 2020. The process will be, we'll have a nominations committee. I've started talking to some people about being on that committee, but if you would like to be on the committee, let me know. And then once we have a committee, we also then need people to run for the board positions, either officer positions or just be on the board. Again, so these are two ways that you guys, anybody in this room, or if you're not in the other room, can step up and help right now. There are other ways you can help too, but we really need the officers, the people putting the time, the commitment to help make the society run. Membership nominations will be done by June, and then the election will be this fall, and the new terms will start next January. We want you to save the date. Now, I should tell you to save the date in pencil. The board still has to sign all the agreements and the leases. You can only reserve the Marvin Center 1 year out. It's not quite 1 year out, so this won't be official. But we will aim for these dates and around this location. So if you put it in pencil, you're probably pretty safe. Put it in pen, that's probably also safe too. There'll also be a program committee. We have to come up. The last year's program committee that Clark led was really great, and it put a lot of nice sessions together. We're going to have to do it again next year. We like to push on this to kind of get things out earlier. It's always a challenge in the end of the fiscal year when government agencies have money. Can we get enough program material out so they say, oh yeah, we have to send people. So we want to try to see if we can move a few things up a little bit this coming year. Anyway, if you have ideas about sessions you'd like to see here, please let me know. You can also send anything to us via info@benefitcostanalysis.org. That gets to Steve Jones, the executive director, and he will get it to the right spot. So if you don't remember any of us or how to get a hold of us, info will work. So for strategic planning, I think our goal is to try to build a virtual cycle. You can start anywhere. That's the nice thing about a cycle. But I'm going to start with active paid members. Paid members are great. We need those. But we also need people who are active, who are really trying to further our mission to improve public policy, particularly doing it through the Society for Benefit Cost Analysis, including its journal. As we do that, as we try to make the field better, that presumably makes the value of SBCA greater. That creates more influence. That means more people want to join, which means we have more people to help out the field. And oh yeah, it goes around and around and around. And pretty soon we'll be solvent, and the next treasurer can get up here and say, hey, we're in great shape. But even more importantly than that, we'll be pursuing our mission to a greater degree. If you look around, there's a lot of benefit cost, I'll put quotes around it, analysis out there that is just not very good. And there are places where it's not being used and it would help inform decision making. So our job is in no way even close to being done. So I think if we want to do this, we want to pursue this mission, let's try to put it together and make that happen. So how are we going to do this? How do we try to, virtual cycle? Well, Kelly listed a lot of these things up here. Yeah, so these are all pretty obvious things. You can do these easily or not. But I think one thing I was going to mention, we had donate to SBCA through either directly donation or the Honor a Colleague program. The board, which meets tomorrow morning, is going to discuss two other avenues for donating. One, which I think is particularly appropriate, given just what we heard about Glenn and Bill and Mary and all the work they did for the journal, is honoring them with a journal fund. Some way that the journal will show up. There'll be something that, it doesn't need a lot of money, but the grant isn't there anymore. There's a marketing opportunity, a chance to be at a conference, to get known, some ways or another, to just help us move that forward. And so a fund that gives the society resources to make that kind of investment, we think is a good idea. This is not an official policy yet, but you hopefully will see something on the website about this soon. The other is the Honor a Colleague, the other is a President's Fund. As the incoming president, I thought, hey, what a good idea, let's have a President's Fund. But more importantly, if you look across nonprofit organizations, there's often things we've found in the past where people have come to SBCA and say, could you co-sponsor an event with us? And like, okay, well, let's see, we got to get the board together, because usually we put this in the budget, so you get the board together, you vote on this thing. It's kind of clunky to make it happen. Is there a more streamlined way that a president might say, yeah, probably in consultation with the executive committee, but yes, we will gladly give you $500 to help co-sponsor this, because it gets our name out there, it gets our ideas out there, it gets us visibility, and it gets people to know us and come both ways. So we think these are both things that would be good practice, a journal fund and a president's fund. Assuming the board agrees, we will be putting these up, and you'll have these two new opportunities, particularly an opportunity, I think, to honor Bill and Glenn and Mary and all the work that they did. So that's, those are more kind of direct fundraising strategic efforts. We also like to think about how do we make membership more valuable. The first thing we've been doing this last few months is trying to make this conference to be as strong as possible, try to get people to sign up and be members. But during this process, we thought, let's try to get something, and this, Lisa Robinson here was very helpful in making this happen, a compendium of syllabi for teaching benefit cost analysis. Many people in this room teach benefit cost analysis or know their colleagues teach it. Everybody knows how much work it is to put that together. And we've so far had, I think, 8 professors share their syllabi with us. And so we'd like to make that available to members. So it'll be a members-only part of our website. Members can log on, can look at this stuff. They're really interesting. I mean, some are fairly streamlined, and some are run to 20-some pages. I will make a pitch that it's amazing how many times articles from the Journal for Benefit Cost Analysis show up in those syllabi. It's probably some of a selection issue. We didn't ask people we didn't know. If they knew us, they probably cited our journal. But nevertheless, it was very rewarding to see the next generation of benefit cost analysis being taught using material out of our journal. We're also sponsoring or co-sponsoring a number of events. This is particularly being helpful trying to expand our footprint in Europe, which we'll be looking for other ways to do. Massimo Florio, who's up here in this table here, is organizing the Milan Summer School. I was really impressed looking at the flyer, the 350-page guidance from the European Council on how to do benefit cost analysis will all be made clear in Massimo's summer school. And then the third one up here is the European Conference. It's still under development at the Toulouse School. Heinrich Andersen is putting that together. And there'll be an opportunity to submit papers. It's not particularly well developed at this point. It's an idea. We've got funding. We've got a place. Now we need people like you to put forward ideas and what to present. Also, the Southern Economic Association, I think, Kip, you're the program chair this year? President, okay, let. Maybe you program chair too. And so there will probably be some joint session, some way to kind of tie into these things. There are probably other opportunities. If you see one, if you think, hey, I'm going to this other meeting, there's a role for benefit cost analysis there, let us know. Again, info@benefitcostanalysis.org will do the trick. And we can see if there's some way to kind of make an arrangement with other organizations to get us there, to get our name there, so that we're visible to these other organizations. We hopefully, not only will we share ideas with them, but some people will think, hey, that's pretty cool. I wish I knew more about benefit cost analysis, and they'll come our way. There's also, we're likely to work on one thing that's not on the slide, which is an Ask an Expert feature to try to link people in the field who either are teaching or trying to conduct or interpret benefit cost analyses and wish they really spoke to somebody who knew something about benefit cost analysis. Can we make those connections? It's not exactly easy how to figure we're going to do this, but we've started to think about, can we put something like that together as a feature? And at the bottom, it's your idea. I mean, you're all in other organizations. This is hardly ever the first professional organization for somebody. So what does other organizations do that really appeal to you? Is there something that you might tip us off, like, hey, try doing this? I really liked, some sort of, journal alerts or Twitter feed or whatever it turns out to be that you really like on these other conferences. If you'll let us know, we won't necessarily take everything idea, but we'll try to incorporate the ideas. It's our society, everybody here, so we really welcome all of your ideas. And with that, I'd like to introduce Fran Sussman to talk about the blog. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, keep going? Yeah. Okay, all right.
Don mentioned the blog, and you may or may not notice, I've been sort of surprised how many people did not know that we had a blog. We've had one since August of 2017, and we've had 28 blogs published so far. We aim for about 2 a month, and the blogs have been on a wide variety of topics. As Don mentioned, we've had book reviews, we've had work in progress. In the most past month or so, we had 3 blogs that related to presentations that were being made at the conference by different individuals. We've been able to get a pretty impressive and just generally a very good group of authors, many of whom are listed, several of whom are listed up there, and many of whom are in the room tonight. And you can see on the website that we've got sort of the blog. You can always click on the blog in that little corner in the upper left-hand corner. After the conference, we plan to have a couple more blogs that are going to be follow-up from the conference. And if you're interested in writing something, we do have information, guidelines for authors, and a process for submitting either your idea or a completed blog. But basically, we really need this is a continuing theme here today, we really need the help of the members to make this successful. So please click on the blog, read the blog, circulate it, tweet it, do whatever you do on social media. And really, if you have an idea for something you'd like to write about, please contact us, whether it's just a raw idea or it's a finished post. We've had people talk about experiences they've had when they've traveled to other countries to work with government counterparts in other countries. Again, you can talk about work in progress. If there's a current event that made you think about benefit cost analysis and you want to write about that, that'd be great. If there's a really important issue that you think we need to have a a controversial discussion about and you want to be part of that controversy, please let us know. We really want this blog to be of use to the members, to have information that is helpful, that meets your needs, that helps keep you informed about what's going on in the world of benefit cost analysis, as well as provides a forum for you to talk about your research, exchange ideas, and otherwise network or communicate with other people. So if you're interested in helping and being involved in the blog, we're also looking for folks to help generate ideas, edit, find reviewers, and things like that. It's been largely an effort of the current board, with me sort of in the role of, I guess, continuing with Kelly's example, Kelly's metaphor. I've been kind of the mom nagging everybody to submit ideas and to submit blogs. So really could use anybody's help. So if you've got an idea or you'd like to be involved in editing the blog and working on it, please either contact me, or again, you can also get to me through the info@benefitcostanalysis.org address as well.
So I'm Henrik Andersson, and very happy to announce that we're going to organize a European Conference of the Society. And it will be, as you can see here, also have turn around, in November 26, 27. Yes, same week as Thanksgiving. So it's a great opportunity to spend Thanksgiving in Toulouse. So it will be organized at the Toulouse School of Economics. Bottom here you have the new building. So my apologies for announcing the conference rather late, but the reason is simply because the new building is not yet finished. So we couldn't decide on the date until last week. But now it's set, so please make sure that you're available November 26, 27. And the objective of the conference is very much like this conference. It's a good mix between academic research and policy questions. No particular order, two keynotes, John Tirole and James Hammett. So we were happy to have both of those excellent speakers. And key dates for the conference. So we asked for extended abstracts. We have the deadline, July 10th. Submission will open April 1st. So as Craig said, still finishing the touches. So a couple of weeks until submission opens. And you have the notification and registration deadline. Information on the webpage. You will also be informed by the society. You will get an email about the conference, and also will be information on the webpage. Conference will be very nice, but there's other things in life. Toulouse is a very nice place to visit. Good food, good wine, rugby. Toulouse is pretty much the capital of Europe when it comes to rugby. So if you're interested in that, you can also come. Please spread the word. This is the first time we are organizing the conference in Europe. So it's very important that we reach out to people. So if you know people in Europe or in the US or in other parts of the world that you believe would be interested in the conference, please make sure that they know about the conference. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'd also like to reach out to the Europeans that are here today. Why not meet tomorrow during the coffee break in the morning to see who we are and exchange ideas about the conference. So I suggest that the Europeans, either you're pure Europeans or maybe you're American working in Europe, we can meet over there in the corner tomorrow during the first coffee break. Okay. Okay, so for Canadians, you can still spend Thanksgiving at home. Yeah. So back to Clark. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I want to get everybody out of here in time to go to the afternoon sessions. So I'm going to telescope what's left. I do want to just mention, we're talking a lot about the co-sponsor, the successful events from last year. This last year, we were the co-sponsor of the Milan Summer School on cost-benefit analysis of investment projects. And also, I do want to mention an event I have warm memories of, the celebrating 25 years of Executive Order 12866, which we were a co-sponsor, along with the Regulatory Studies Center and the administrative section of the Bar Association and a few others. It was a lot of fun. And I want people to be thinking, other possible co-sponsor events. I mean, we're delighted that it looks like we may be doing a benefit cost section at the Southern Economic Association. Now let me also, you probably all noticed a piece of paper on your chairs when you sat down to lunch. Okay, that's the evaluation. It's not an evaluation so far. We just wanted to get the paper in your hands, although you could do an evaluation now if you wished, but please, by the end of the conference, fill that in and turn it in, which reminds me that we have a lot of conference left. We have 2 more general sessions this afternoon, 2 general sessions tomorrow morning, and then we have the keynote address from Cass Sunstein tomorrow at lunch, and we have an afternoon session. And then this year we are doing something, we're going to have a plenary session to close the conference, and Dean Jameson will speak at that. So I'm really looking forward to that, and of course to our closing reception. We also have a reception this afternoon. We do a lot of receiving, so you get, and I think we get drink coupons for every session, but for every reception, at least I hope so. With that, I hope to have a little time. A lot of this stuff you've already heard, so I will go through. I don't really know if we have, frankly, I don't think we have time for questions, but I will throw this out. If you have questions or comments, just come up to me or tackle any one of the board members or officers, and remember that we are available at, I'll go back one, at info@benefitcostanalysis.org. So again, thank you for your attention, and enjoy the rest of the conference. We're just getting started. Okay.
Thank you again for attending today's program.